It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Good evening, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. My name is Heath, and tonight is Technology as a Tool, Not as an Obstacle. I thought we would take a look at some automatic reversing units for some shelf layouts that I'm building. I thought it would be a good sort of technology-based project for tonight's show, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I won't be letting any of the smoke out, but we'll see. Anything's possible these days. I do need to acknowledge there's somebody playing a saxophone like right outside my window, and I'm finding it very distracting. So if I lose my train of thought, that's what's going on outside right now. But Steve 87th, I probably am a tool. Although sometimes I am an obstacle too, I guess. It all depends on how you look at it. I do have the list of live streams and stuff running because this is going to be Model Railroad related. So yeah, let's take a quick look, see who's joining us tonight. Looks like we got about 28 people hanging out. We got Artie Us America Model Railroading coming to you from Australia. He just put up a video. He's got a nice shirt in the video that he just got with the Australia American flag on the front of it. We got Carolina Foothills Railroad D Knight, Gary Creepy 013, also from Australia. We got Dragon Ball Tech, also known as DB Tech. Drew Dudes Model Trains is here. We've got Mr. Rick Bailey, now known as Fultz Bailey Model Railroad. We've got Jerry Satz in the house. Lynn McCurdy in the HD MMRC is here. Greg from Midsummer Railway N Scale in the house. Marty M&M Short Lines. Andrew Mr. Pictovid is here. No Row Norman Row. We've got Ray Ron VR joining us as well. Dave BNSF N Scale checking in. We've got Roy Eltham joining us as well. Rick R and the R&L Railroads here. We got Thomas Splitrock 323. We got Steve 87th PSAP. We got Pappy Trigoglin in the house, as well as Wigwag Workshop. If I missed you, I apologize, but thank you everyone for being here tonight. If something technical does go wrong, just so you know, I'm trying out a little bit of a new setup that I've got. So things might not quite be dialed in. So I appreciate feedback, but I do just need to acknowledge that who knows what could happen. Anything's possible. Let's just see. Dragon Ball, that always cracks me up. Yeah, I know DB are your initials, but I think Dragon Ball is a lot more fun. So, yeah. So, someone is having sex next door while Heath is working with electronics. Isn't that true? And Andrew reminding me that when doesn't something technical go wrong? And that's kind of why I decided to do this whole series. Some of these are going to be more relevant to you, whereas others, might not be, but hopefully we'll find a rhythm. We'll find a way to kind of make this all work together. And yeah, as Roy Eltham says, basically this will be the same as normal. But these Wednesday night streams are going to be sort of more tech focused. So everybody knows I've got behind me a shelf layout, and that shelf layout has an HO scale train, an N scale train, and a Z scale train. But right now, that Z scale train is sitting there not doing anything. And if you look in the foreground down on the left, you see there's a Motorman by ISE. One's labeled N scale, one is labeled HO scale. That device is both a DCC and DC device that Iowa Scale Engineering makes. But for my Z scale, I don't plan on putting any DC decoders in them. So my thought was, instead of a DC solution, I was going to look for a DC only solution. And two of them that I found was Circuitron, the maker of the tortoise and the snail, has an AR-2. So the AR-1 is their regular automatic reverse unit. The AR-2 is their automatic reverse unit with time delay. So when this gets to the end of the track, you can set a delay so that it won't just jump back and forth. It'll kind of stop, wait a second, and then start up again. This device uses optosensors, basically a light sensor. You're supposed to drill them into the track. For tonight's setup, I just have some temporary alligator clips, so we're just going to use that to set it up. A very similar device to this AR-2 is this device here from Miniatronics that I found. The Miniatronics is the RU1-1, and this looks like a little bit of an older product just based on the design of the box, but they seem to do very similar things. So this was an eBay purchase. This purchase here for the AR-2 actually came from my sponsor, Iron Planet Hobbies. So Iron Planet Hobbies specializes in DCC equipment, and this was one of the things they sent me. The other things that they sent me is I now have mounts for my Digitrax throttles. I have one set up here, and I have another one that looks like it fell down. Huh. Well, that didn't work so well. Here's the other one falling down in the corner. So we'll find a better spot for the other one. But this is the Digitrax stowaway, and it's designed for use with both the DT602 as well as the UT6D. So yeah, let's while I'm thanking my sponsor, I'll also thank all the supporters, all the YouTube members, all the YouTube supporters, all the Patreon supporters, everyone that supports me through Super Chat, Super Stickers, and all of that. And please watch this 45-second video where I list all my monthly supporters as well as the sponsors of the channel. So I saw a couple of questions in the chat that I thought I'd just address really quickly. I have not worked with the AR-2 before, but I did find a really good video online about setting it up. So I watched that video and I have read the directions. I should be able to figure it out without letting the smoke out, but you never know what's going to happen. Somebody else was asking if I'm going to use an Arduino. This is a device that, I don't need an Arduino to use this. This will work with basically just a power supply. So we'll get into that wiring. I could have done this with an Arduino. Arduino and a motor shield would be what I needed. For the cost of this, I believe this is like $50 for the cost. And both of these are about $50. So the price of both of them is very similar. My thought was for $50, it's worth just spending the money to get something that I know is gonna theoretically work if I set it up correctly. Andrew, thank you so much for a little extra support. That's Mr. Pictovid. Really, really appreciate the super chats. Letting the smoke out, is that a euphemism? Yeah, it's a euphemism for I blew it up and it's never going to work again. Oh, I'm sorry. Steve87PSAP says it's the unboxing that will take too long. Heath hasn't even opened them yet. I'm going to try and get actually through setting them up tonight, so I'll try and get through it. Yeah, this should be back to basics. This is DC only, so there's no programming involved. There are a couple dials to be set. There are dials that control the sensitivity of the optosensors, the light sensors. Basically, depending on your ambient light, you might need to change the sensitivity of the sensors. And then on the Circuitron device, there is a delay as well that you can set. But the programming is all just based on programming is all just like on the unit, just with some dials. It's not, computer based or any extra stuff. Fred Wild says, I can speak from experience that once you let the smoke out, it doesn't go back in. Unfortunately, I can confirm that as well. Yes, John Coltrane is still playing outside my window. I hope you guys can't hear it. I can hear it, but hopefully you guys cannot. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to turn my overhead camera on. I'll try and get a good shot of everything without it being all blown out. And we'll just open these up really quickly and take a look. I have a feeling, I just realized this is like in front of me if I do that there. Yeah, I'll figure that out eventually. But so we're going to open these two guys up first. We'll take a look at them. I have a feeling that they're going to be kind of similar in nature. But let's open them and find out. So that is not the camera I wanted. There we go. There's the camera I wanted. So this guy's a little blown out, but we'll oh, you know what I wonder? If you guys can give me 1 second, I'm going to try and fix that. I think the setting that fixes that, I think it went back. I think it went back on its own. It changed. So I'm just going to really quickly come in here. Exposure compensation. Yeah, exposure compensation. Set OK. Get out of the menu. Apologize for that, but as you can see now, I've got a much better view of the items, and I'm also hitting. Let's move this over here. I'm hitting everything tonight with this camera, but let's open these up. I do have my TechMaster 2 Railmaster 2400 here, and I've got an N scale train set up on the track as well. We'll be using, come on, focus. We'll be using this N scale train that will not focus for whatever reason. There we go. So this N scale train is what I'm going to use to test it. This is an old, I don't know, it's not that old. $13.25 I bought this for back in probably the 80s. Yeah, so it's fun. Like, who doesn't have an old Railmaster 2400 sitting around, right? I mean, it's just kind of the way it is, right? Just kind of the way it is. I can open a package and put it together before Heath even gets the box open, said by Tim at CP368 Productions. So let's pop these open. I'm gonna pop this one open first, just because it's easier. Comes in a nice little box. So these two dials on the left are for adjusting the light sensors, and this over here on the right is for setting delay. We have power in, power out. Sorry, let me correct that. This is variable DC in. This is your variable DC out. This is your constant DC in on this side. And then these are for the SD is your common for your sensor, and S1 and S2 are your two hots for your sensor. The delay is if you're going to use a DT4, which is another product by them, and the DT4 will allow you to add like intermediate delay steps and whatnot. So we've got some instructions, and it looks like it actually comes with opto sensors. So I didn't need to buy the extra ones, but just in case I let the smoke out of them. So here's a little bit of the instructions, and we'll go through this here. As I mentioned, is I don't know why you really don't want to focus for me. Here's the DT4 that I just mentioned that goes into the delay side of it. But this basically just shows everything I just talked about. And we're going to be doing this point-to-point setup here. Ken N says, I'll have to watch Nutrak's modeling. You'll turn green with envy. Was it a circus? Was it a circus layout? Because if it was, I want to see it. Here we go. Okay, so this is the AR-2. Let's open this guy up. So this does not come with a constant DC or this doesn't come with any power supply, the AR-2. So no power supply with the AR-2. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because the RU does come with a power supply, also comes with the opto sensors, but this does come with a power supply, which I thought was kind of a nice little feature of this one. You know, it's just a little wall wart power supply from Miniatronics, and you'll see the directions. Directions are fairly similar. They don't give as nice of a little picture, but it's essentially exactly the same wiring. And let's look at the board. So here's the other board. So they are different. These will be again for the light sensitivity. This the guy on my right here does not have a setting for delay. So this one basically will just switch from back to forward, and it does not look like, I don't see any specific labels on these guys except for J1 and J2. Whereas on this guy, they really label out each of these guys. So, Ron B, what is the shuttle device you were talking about? Yeah, Ron Brights, I'm curious. Curious what it is as well. Yes, I have not reboxed it and unboxed it yet. Who came up with the name Walmart? I don't know. Walmart, maybe? He is 50-something circus train ringling, but didn't show that. I'm curious if the ringling stuff is the micro trains or if it's something else. It was obscene. He had 2 to 3 of everything. Is it? It wasn't Don West, was it? Yes, we are doing 1080p 60 tonight. So if something goes horribly wrong, this is a completely new setup. So, yeah, Roy says he has a few hundred cars and thinks it's too many. Yeah, I've got, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Ron, do you know who makes the device you're referring to? Because that's basically what both these devices do. These devices do that same exact thing. Controls the train, runs it back and forth. So let's see. I don't know which one I want to start with. I guess is kind of. Let's start with the Miniatronics one because I'd rather blow that one up. I'm gonna grab a small screwdriver. I didn't prep that, so let me just grab a small screwdriver really quickly, and then we'll get started wiring this guy up. Oh, you had Todd Treaster on? Yeah, I know Todd. I found out about I don't have it open to show you. There's he has all of the Concours sets that were released. Concours released all these like box sets, and he had like every single one of them. I have not seen Todd around in a long time, so I'm really glad. I'm really glad to hear that he's still, he's still out there. Yeah, Todd's got an awesome layout. Todd's got some cool stuff going on. So for $2, Mr. Foltz Bailey Model Railroad is asking, how are you doing the pop-up comments without StreamYard? I can't give away all my secrets now, can I? It's a Chrome plugin. I can send you a link, but it's basically a Chrome plugin that Steve Seguin, the guy that wrote Video Ninja, wrote to use. So it just works with Chrome. Yeah, Roy Smith's video is where Roy Smith did 2 videos, and he that's where I initially found out who Todd was, but. Yeah. Tom, I am hopefully not blowing things up tonight, but the night's young. All right, grabbing a small screwdriver, and I need. I'm grabbing as well. Some wire. And I need this. This will work. Okay. So we're going to wire this guy up first. So I'm going to move this guy out of the way. So we got power. And then I'm going to use this Tech 2 as my variable power. Since this doesn't have any leads coming out of it, I don't have any way to get my clips onto it, so I am going to get the fire extinguisher ready. I actually have a fire extinguisher right next to me, so we should be okay. I should have checked this ahead of time to see if I needed any wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I really should have prepped these. I guess that's what I get. No, no, no. Rick, it's not a part of OBS Ninja. It's a Chrome plugin that you use with. It's a Chrome plugin that the guy that created it. You should name them instead of referring to both of them. This guy is so confusing. Which I'm not sure which you're talking about. This guy, Steve Seguin, is the guy's name from Video Ninja. The plugin is called. Let's see if I can find it without messing anything up. If you go into the Chrome store, it's called Chat Overlay for YouTube, Twitch, and more. And it's by Steve Seguin. And I can do a thing on it. Where's the poll, Heath? You got the stripper. Yeah, we did. I do. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know, this is the exciting part, right? Watching me cut wires. 7, there we go. I guess I could have made them a little longer to make this easier on myself, but, you know, why would I want to do that? I can do chat overlays using XSplit. Yes, XSplit can do it. vMix can do it. StreamYard can do it. Melon can do it. Oh, I call both devices this guy. This is the Miniatronics device, the RU1-1, that I am wiring up first, and then I will wire up the AR-2, and we'll kind of compare them and see how they work. And yes, Rayron, wiring 101 with Heath. Wiring 101 would be to open the box and plan out a little better what you're doing so that people don't have to watch you strip wires on your live stream. Streamlabs OBS cannot do it unless you're talking about something else. But I have not seen it as a part of Streamlabs OBS. This is the one I'm putting together right now, for anyone that's wondering what's happening. And I really wish they would have shown a better picture because none of these are labeled. I did find online somebody that had basically updated the drawings and labeled everything, but, you know, why would we want to make our lives easy? So Lynn says, for some wires so I don't have to cut them so short. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I cut them so short. It's probably going to actually cause me some issues, but I don't believe so, Roy, but I'd be happy to have somebody prove me wrong. I've looked up chat overlays a lot. I've done a lot of research on it. If it was added, it was like literally just added. Yeah, do it with a baking show, prepared stuff. Yeah, I wasn't quite as prepared as I had hoped. Okay, so let's look at this real quick. Okay. So I'm looking, so what I'm trying to find first is I'm trying to find where this guy plugs in. And are these not labeled? What is, oh, here we go. So S1, take the two wires prepared. No, that's not where I want to start. After first installing, measure 2 lengths of wire to go back to bring 2 conductors. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is S1 and S2. Take the two wires prepared for your variable voltage supply, which I'm using this guy up here, and hook them up to your power pack. Insert the other end of the one of the wires, S1 and S2. Okay, so S1 and S2 are these two wires here. I need to power pack. We're going to turn it off. I'm going to stick two of these wires in here. The other wire in here. All right, so I already have two wires coming out of the back of this. So I am just going to grab those from the side over here. These two are the ones coming out of there, and I'm just going to clip them in here. One thing I've learned with alligator clips is you have to make sure that you've actually clipped to the wire and not the insulation. And this is where, if I had longer wires, it would have been a little better. So S1 and S2 is variable DC. So this is VDC, VDC. Okay. So S3 and S4 are my track wires. So we're going to do this again. Let me move this over a little bit. Let's move this over a little bit. So 3 and 4 are track. So let's just put a T here and a T here. I know everyone's just waiting to see this go up in smoke, and I'm really hoping this does not go up in smoke. So this could be a, I feel like there's a conflict of interest going on in the chat. Oh, Rick, I'm really sorry to hear about your brother-in-law. Oh, that's awful. Creepy, I do not think this process is NMRA compliant. I don't think anything I do is probably NMRA compliant, but Roy has faith in me. Roy, I appreciate that. So we are going to take the black and the red, and we're going to connect the red to one of these here. And this is going to go back to the track, and I'm going to connect it a little bit off camera over here just to kind of keep the wires out of the way. And let's okay, so that's the red one hooked up off camera. Yeah, Rick, I know they're touching. I'm going to adjust them. If you noticed, one of the alligator clips is completely covered in electrical tape because I've been through this game before. But yeah, they will be separated. Okay, so now insert wires from the transformer supplied. Side of wire with the broken white strip insert into S5 and S6. So this will be my constant DC. Constant DC. So I do not need wires there. Just going to open this up. Yeah, Steve 87. I could have made bigger wires, but you can see all the connections now. So, you know, all right, what did I say? Side of the wire with the broken white stripe goes in S5. So we got broken white stripe is this guy. So this guy here, we're going to turn this around. So this guy here is S5. see, come on. I'm gonna fold this in half a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is S5. It's probably much easier if people are not watching. Come on. What are you doing? There we go. It was not actually open. There we go. There's S5. And then we'll put the other one into S6. And this is the provided transformer with the Miniatronics RU1-1. So hopefully we won't have any issues. So this guy goes in this side. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to add these 3 wires in here, because what these 3 wires are now going to be is these are going to be for my sensors, my sensor common and the other 2 light sensors. And for this demonstration, or for this setup, I'm just going to kind of put the light sensors next to each other and just sort of cover them with my hand. What you're supposed to do is drill them through the track. So you'd put a hole in, feed the wires down through the track. I'm not doing that for whatever reason. I guess I'm not doing that just because this is N scale I'm using for testing. The plan is to use Z scale with this guy, so this is just a temporary setup. So now we need to find out S7, S8, and S9. Solder 2 wires to your first sensor and attach 1 to S7 and 1 to S8, and 1 to S7 and 1 to S9. So S7 is my common. So we're going to use, for no reason just other than I've got different colors, we're going to use the green one for that. And then I am going to get my 2 light sensors. And we're going to open the light sensors up. And I don't know how well you can see that, but this is the little opto sensor. Oh, come on. Maybe it's not going to focus well today. Well, it's small. Greg, Midsummer N scale, I do have a smoke detector, but hopefully this is a non-smoking area, so hopefully we're not going to make that happen. So I am just going to spread these wires out so that when I connect things up to them, and just for simplicity's sake, I am going to connect the green wire here just to both of them right in the center, and I'll spread them apart so I can cover one at a time. And now S8 and S9, I just need to connect to the other ends. So I've got, let's see, white and yellow, so we'll use those. So white and yellow. And then we'll come back over here and we'll go yellow to one side and we'll go white to the other side. So basically one sensor would be at one end, the other sensor would be at the other end, and the the speed is coming in over here on S1 and S2. Track is on S3 and S4. I've got constant power coming in on 5 and 6, and then I've got the sensors there. So let's see what it says now. Now it says plug in the 12-volt DC transformer, place an engine on the track, set your power pack to low, and enjoy. That it literally says that on the instructions. It says right here, set your power pack to low. Set your power pack to low and enjoy. So Radio Shack. I just watched a video of Tom's Trains and Things where he talked about Radio Shack. And okay, so is anybody as nervous as I am? So we're gonna plug this in. Okay, so there's a red light on that. Oops. Over here. So somehow I need to set the sensitivity of the light sensors, but I don't know. Well, so I'm not sure which way the sensitivity knobs need to go. Yeah, the train moves. That is true. So that is part of the... All right, so the train moves, which is good, but the sensitivity part does not seem to work. So what I'm gonna try is theoretically, Jay. Yes, it could be the operator. Very much so. So what I'm going to do is, my understanding is that when you cover the light sensor, basically it's closing the circuit, and it will, in theory, trigger the reverse. So what I'm going to try first is I'm going to try just disconnecting them one at a time. I don't know if they're normally open or normally closed. Actually, I can test that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna test whether these light sensors, or whether these opto sensors are normally open or normally closed, and then that way I should be able to actually. I don't know how I'm gonna do this actually, because I need power going through it. I think I just have to touch them together. Yeah, so if I touch the two together, I should have the most resistance. Yeah, so power supply is plugged in. I see the light on the power supply. It could be that these wires are backwards. Let's do this. Can you guys see the meter? No. There's the meter. All right, so 12 volts, right? So nothing. right? So theoretically, if I close this one, I would think I would see 12 volts across it. Hmm. Right, so 12 volts here. The white is my common, which means if I touch one of them and close the circuit, I would think, I do not. So it is, light increases, resistance decreases. No, Heath, you can't measure them with voltage. Remove the sensor from the circuit and test with ohms. Do I need to leave it powered up to test with ohms, or do I just plug it, or can I just I mean, theoretically, this is, see, this is why I'm doing this live, because I know there's so many people that know so much more than me. All right, so 0.410 kilo ohms. No power to test ohms. Oh, well, look at that, though. So 0.402 kilo ohms, and then when I cover it, it goes up to 2. Everyone's yelling, no. So 4.2, cover it, it goes up to 2. So it's working. It is working. You see the, right? You can see the meter going up and down. So that one's working. So the question then is this one working? Oh. Sorry, I keep missing with the clip. All right, so there we go, 0.4. Okay, so both light sensors are working and providing the correct feedback. I'm getting 12 volts at the device. Oh, this one. So it should. I feel like it should, irregardless of the sensitivity, but I'm not seeing the light come on. So here's a thought. Put the knobs in the middle of their turn. Yeah, so what's supposed to happen with these is these green lights right here should come on in one direction or the other, and then you turn them off just until that light goes out. And that's how you're supposed to set the sensitivity. But I'm doing that and it's not doing anything, which leads me to think it's too much light in the room, but if I cover them both up completely, then they're not seeing any light, right? So shouldn't it? If I've got them completely covered, you would think at one end the light would come on. What I'm going to try, for better or for worse, and I'm curious what people think, should I switch the polarity? Should I switch the polarity on the wall wart? So here it is plugged in. You can see the red light. turn it off and turn it back on again. Oh, you know, well, this is off, but I don't know if that matters. Does it? No, see, none of these don't come on. Let's take the train off the track. Let's run it up to full. All right, so this is now at full, and this is getting power. And if I just cover one, I feel like I should hear this relay switching. And I feel like I'm not hearing the relay switching. "12-volt DC output." Well, except for switching the polarity, I'm not sure what to try. There are two options. Oh, I'm starting to read my own. If white is the common, should it be in the middle connecting both sensors? So according, no, I have the green wired as the common. Tom, no, I didn't test it before the live stream. We're doing this live. So right here it says solder 2 wires to the first sensor. Right there. Solder 2 wires to the first sensor and attach one to S7 and one to S8. And then solder 2 wires to the other sensors to S7 and S9. So S7 is going to both sensors, and then S8 and S9. So S7 is the green right here, and that's going to both sensors. Yeah, it's tight. And then the other two are split. It's a transformer on momentum. No, it's not. Does it not have a run setup switch? No. So what I don't know how to do, although I don't think it's the issue. So I'm gonna swap the polarity on this. If you think that's a terrible idea, let me know. If not, I'm just gonna do it. So check continuity on your 3 connections from the board to the sensor. So what you're saying is, if I hit the green, so I'm getting that to the sensors, the white, and then the yellow to this one. So yes, I'm getting connectivity. So what I don't know, so what it doesn't say, so here's where my concern is the wall wart says to put, which wire to put on which, but it doesn't say which one is positive and which one's negative. And that's where I'm a little bit stuck, is that the insert wires to the transformer supplied, side of wire with broken white stripe, insert into S5, second wire side into S6. So S5 should be the negative. Wait, is the dash line the positive, or is the dash line the negative? Which should the dash line be? So according to this, Oh, it's not plugged in. So according to this, the dash line is the positive. Yes, dash line goes in S5, but I don't think it's... I don't know how to tell on the board. I mean, there's literally... no, Hot Rod, Rodney, this is the Miniatronics one. This is, we're working with this guy right now, the Miniatronics guy. Yes, so yes, I know the white stripe wire, it says to go to S5. What I don't know, it doesn't matter on the right. So the sensor doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, this device does not seem to be getting power, right? And there's a diode right here on the input of the device. So if I have the polarity of the wire swapped, that diode is basically going to stop any power getting to this. And what it seems is that there's no power going to this side of the unit. And it specifically talks about that you need to have the polarity correct in order for it to work. So I really think that the polarity is backwards. Tom, yes. So the black one is on the dash line that's in S5, and the red one is on the other one, and it shows negative. Which means that the dash line is positive. Look on the small box the wall work came with. Well, and that's what I don't, Andrew, I don't see Mr. Pictovid, I don't see a bridge rectifier, but I do see a diode. There's definitely a diode on the inside. So yes, so I know this is correct, but I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do? I know you guys won't be able to see this, but I am going to go to the Miniatronics. I found, where did I put it? I found a drawing of a guy. You know, I should have, I don't know where I saved this to. There was a guy that had this same thing and had the same exact problem. Oh, just see if it says which wire is plus. I mean, I know, yes, the dash is positive. But I'm just not clear whether this is positive on this board. I am going to... Oh, you know what? It looks like it goes to Q1 first. Hold on, give me 1 second. And I'm sorry that I'm not set up right now. Wiring. Miniatronics. Here we go. Let's see. Anyway, what do you do with it? Somebody's got a PDF somewhere that's got this drawn out. And if I can find that, I might be able to get this working. Or we're going to have to ditch this one, and we'll just go to the... if I can't get this working, we'll just go to the... go to the other device. We'll go look for a YouTube video. I could not find a YouTube video on this guy. I found a YouTube video on the other guy. I couldn't find a YouTube video on this guy. So desktop save. Oh, it doesn't say. He doesn't, the power white and black. So, okay, so here's what's interesting about this guy, right? So here's the, let's turn this off so there's no track power. So this guy is essentially the same, right? This guy though shows the positive on the right and the negative on the left, whereas this guy uses the negative on the left and the positive on the right. So I don't know if it's backwards or not. Here's what we're doing. So now that I've got this all set up, this is going to be easy to swap. So there you go. That's swapped. And then this is my out. That's my out. Can everyone see what I'm doing? I just realized I'm zoomed in and you couldn't see what I was doing. I apologize. So this is the in. Those are a little close together for my liking. And we're going to take this guy and we're going to pull these wires out. Split rock, what's going to be epic? What did I miss? This is when Homeland Security breaks down the door. Yeah, I wish. Okay, so the dashed line is positive. I am going to get a red wire connected to the dashed line. And the red wire is going to go to the positive. And a black wire goes to the other side. Boy, I really did think this would just work. I don't know what in the world made me think. Okay, so that works there. These guys are not touching. Those guys are not touching. So theoretically now, when I plug this in, I did. I read the instructions. You guys that were here in the beginning saw me read the instructions. Okay, so this, let's see. If I put this on here and just turn this on, nothing happens. Right? Okay. Which makes sense because this one's got two relays, so it's going to flip-flop back and forth. So let's just take this off the track. Plug it in. Ah, I heard a relay click. There you go. Look, lights on. So lights on. So we just turn it off until it goes out. There you go. Now we're going to turn this one on. Maybe. There you go. That just comes on. And then we're going to go just till it turns off. And now, theoretically, no. There's the one. I don't know why. Oh. Don't know why that one's not working. So it's flipping one way. It's flipping that way. It does not seem to be flipping this way. All right. Well, at least I got the one. I don't know why. All right. So now I got them both working. uh, Thomas Split Rock. So if we took out the time I spent setting up the Miniatronics version, if we took out the time I spent on this guy and just set up this guy, this would have been a 5-minute stream and we would have been done. All right, so now I got both my lights working. So let's put little train on the track. And can everyone see what I'm doing? I was hoping to edit this down into like a nice little video on how to do this, and that just went out the window. Turn it on. Oh, I disconnected it. Sorry, the wire is coming out of this green clip, which is breaking the circuit. So, by the Circuitron, it seems to work right out of the box. So what's set right now is this guy, which is the delay. I don't know which way. I don't know which way the delay is supposed to go for the shortest. There we go. So that's the shortest delay. Right, there you go. Back and forth, back and forth. And then you can set the delay by adjusting this guy. It waits. It waits some more. Come on, turn around. Turn around. Apparently you can set a really long delay. So I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing something blow up, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the polarity on, I might switch the polarity on that other guy. So this unit here will not do DCC. Will not do DCC for this application. You can use this for, you know, like reverse loops and stuff like that. But this is a DC device, you know, for this sort of stuff. So Tom's Trains and Things is saying blow it up. I mean, it's clearly, this one's clearly working. Everything's clearly working. So it's got to be something with the power on that. So this will, you know, I'll drill these in on my on the shelf in the back there, and I'll get the Z scale running using this guy, because this guy works for, and it works really well, and it was really simple to set up. So Rick says leave with a win. Now, I don't know if Rick, I think Rick was on my Monday night stream where I attempted to put together basically a paper palette in N scale at the end of my stream. So it'll work with my animation project I'm thinking of, so that's perfect. Yeah, I love this type of stuff. Like this to me is fun and exciting. And if I knew how to program, I would put an electrolytic capacitor in the Circuitron box with the polarity reversed, then plug in the wall wart. I don't even know what that means. Norman Rose going outside to feed himself to rabid raccoons. So boys and girls, what did we learn tonight? So what we're about to learn is something that, so if you want to see a win right now, so if you don't want to see me blow this other unit up, which is already not working, then leave now. If you want to stay around and see me potentially blow up this other unit, now that I know all these components work, I'm going to try reversing the polarity on that guy, because that's the only thing I could figure that's not working. Yeah, if this doesn't work, this will be the first time I got burned on eBay. But I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited about getting that Z-scale guy running back there. I mean, I could run the Z-scale, but like to have it on the to have it on this back and forth thing is going to be really awesome, and not have to switch it manually, obviously. But yeah, let's Nisi's flashing again. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I know it's probably dumb. I know it's dumb, but I'm gonna do it. So for those of you that want to watch, you can stay and watch. For those of you that have weak stomachs and can't handle a little excitement, yeah, so this that is the positive. It goes to the diode, and this goes to the capacitor. This goes to the capacitor to plus. Well, if I blow this up, what's going to blow up is the, I think this capacitor right here. So I'll zoom in when we're ready to fire it up, just in case it does blow up. And we'll see what happens. I used to like building Heath kits when I was a kid, so okay, so this goes here. This goes here. This goes here. All right, we got the easy part hooked up. So we're going to take this off. We don't need these jumpers anymore. So these guys go here. And these guys go here. And now what we're going to do is, instead of the dashed white in S5, we're going to put the dashed white in S6. Boy, is this exciting to anybody else? So all my power's off, everything's unplugged. So nothing's gonna blow up yet. Loco's removed from the track. Thank you, Container Man. Good idea. It's not a DCC locomotive, it's just DC. So the way this circuit works, nothing should actually happen to it, but so I am actually going to disconnect. This wire goes to the Tech 2, so I'm going to disconnect that for now. Is anybody here not subbed to me? I just saw Creepy say he's not subbed to Nisi. I'm curious if any Yeah, so the dash is positive, right? So if we go by this guy, so here's a capacitor, here's a capacitor, here's the diode, here's the diode. This says this should be negative and positive. This guy's wired the same way as this guy, but they told me to wire it backwards. So, if you're weak, it's time to leave. Hi, is everyone ready? All right, so I got the wall wart. I'm gonna plug it in. Watch. I think the thing to watch is this. Let me back up. I think the thing to watch is gonna be that capacitor. Okay, ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3. Man, that wasn't very exciting. Hey, can you guys see that? You see what's on? The polarity's backwards. The wiring instructions are wrong. They must have swapped the power supply at some point. And because now it's right. Now I can set the sensitivity, and then, although no, that's not working, but I don't know why that's not coming on and off, but I'm actually not sure. All right, so one problem is solved. The one problem that's solved is the lights. Now, come on. Oh, there we go. I don't know. It's got like a long delay to it. I don't know if you can hear the clicks, but the relay is now clicking. So we're gonna hook this up. We're gonna hook this up. I'm hooking up the Tech 2 to this guy. Let's back up a little bit. I'm gonna put the train. See, you know, I could have blown this up and I get nothing for it. I figured out that the polarity was backwards and I get nothing for it. What is this world coming to? All right, so we're gonna switch that on. Doesn't seem to. Well, I don't know why it's not. All right, well, it seems to work. It seems to work by adjusting the knob sensitivity. But it does not seem to work there we go. Yeah, so these knobs are very sensitive. It's as Split Rock says, knobs can be sensitive. It's very sensitive to the adjustment. You have to just come off the LED coming on. Yeah. Edward, Katie, thank you so much. Remember the instructions. Enjoy! So, not as simple and straightforward necessarily. The instructions were 100% wrong. I mean, it very clearly says side of wire with a broken white stripe in S5, and oh, come on. It says, you know, white stripe insert in S5, and clearly that was wrong. So oh, so you can see the directions say white stripe in S5. We just put the broken white stripe in S6. Yeah. Frank, I would argue that this was not an eBay thing, that this was Miniatronics at some time switched. Oop, that was interesting. Switched out this power supply, and when they switched out the power supply, it this guy and those guys' knobs are sensitive. Exactly, Tom. See, Tom, if I could explain stuff as well as you do, I'd have 40,000 subscribers. But I can't explain stuff as well as you do. So I only have 1,000. But one day. Yeah, so what's backwards is the instructions are backwards. The instructions here are backwards. Side of wire with broken white stripe, insert into S5. And you can see there, this is S5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's the instruction. I think it's just that they swapped the power supply and never never updated it. So I appreciate everyone being here. I've been on for hold on, Heath, what's the card called? I see it has touch control to change directions. Okay, so if people weren't here earlier, let me just go through really quickly and explain what this is. So these coming in here are from the DC controller. Right, so this is my variable DC input. This is the wires that go out to the track. This is constant DC input. What these are light sensors. And the intention of these light sensors is you drill them into the track. So this light sensor would actually be, under the center of the track, just poking up. So that as the train came by, the train would cover the sensor, stop it, and then it would go back again. Instead of drilling out the track, I just am doing it with my hand, just to simulate the locomotive rolling over them. So this is the RU1-1, and once you set it up right, it works. You can't deny that it works when it's set up correctly. The one that we set up very quickly though was let me just widen this out a little bit. The one we set up very quickly was the Circuitron that came from Iron Planet Hobbies. So, yep, Iron Planet Hobbies, sponsor of the channel. Yeah, Container Man. I've got everything you could possibly say. Thing. So try that in a dark room. It's not going to work on a dark room. But here's the thing. You see all that light over there on my shelf? I got a ton of light over there. So that light's going to be shining right down on top of the sensors. So it's going to work perfectly. Yeah, the sensors are called optosensors, and you can get them. So the reason I got this one is for DC only. So I'm going to use this one with my Z-scale track. The two back here, these guys from Iowa Scaled Engineering, can be used with both DC or DCC. So those guys back there will be on my N scale and my HO, because at some point I will probably have an HO locomotive with DCC. And the Z scale, that train that just started moving there is the Z scale. That is going to be DC only, and it's all set up. So I have 3 back and forth tracks right now. The very back track is HO. The track just in front of that is N, and the track in front of that is Z scale. So right now, as these come down, you can see the difference in scale between the 3. HO in the back, N scale in the center, Z scale in the front. I know I was offered DCC, but it'll come eventually. It'll come eventually. My main thing is the N scale. So I don't know. What did Tom Train say? Let's go, Brandon. What are we talking about? So, that's a good question. People keep asking. I think this AR-2, and let's look at the instructions. I think this AR-2 is DC only, but I'm not sure. Automatic polarity reverser for use on point-to-point layouts in any scale. The AR-2 provides 5 amp reversing capacity and also incorporates an adjustable time delay circuit. Packs. Yeah, so it looks like this is DC only. This cannot be used with DCC. This is just for point-to-point or point-to-point with a spur. So you can get a DT4 and basically use it. So I thought about adding a 4th track, but the reality is, if I want to do any sort of scenery or anything, like I've got, like this in the back is a PGH. These are PGH Train Fanatic background flats. And I want to leave room for that kind of stuff. So, in order to leave room for that kind of stuff, I don't think, I don't know Brandon. Are you talking about Brandon from Bubs? The Brandon up in Connecticut, in Canada? So Rick's asking, does DigiKeys have a reverse? DigiKeys has a device that would do this if I hooked it up to like JMRI or something, but it doesn't have a device that would do it without that. And I wanted something that was DC only, something that really something really simple. Someone just asked another question. So what I'm using to make them go back and forth right now is an Iowa Scaled Engineering, the Motorman. So the company that makes the proto throttle made a device called the Motorman, and that's what this is right here, and that's what this is. This is the one on the N scale track, and this is the one on the HO scale track. And that's what's controlling the back and forth. Think NASCAR Barton Heath. That means absolutely nothing to me. I don't watch TV. So there you go. Okay, here we go. The AR-5 or AR-6 is what you use for DCC. So there you go. But yeah. So that's pretty exciting. We got this working. We got both of them working. So how does the motorman know to switch? Okay. Since a lot of people are asking, let's go look at that in more depth. 1 second. Let's go over here. Oh, come on. Focus. Focus. There we go. So the motorman uses optical sensors. Thank you, Nora. Much appreciated. So they use optical sensors. So when that the N scale train runs in front of that, I think you might be able to see the red light come on when it goes in front of it. And that's an optical sensor. They make a all right, no political stuff, please. They make a sensor that it's on the side like that, and then if you notice right back here, this sensor is the HO scale sensor. So they make some that point straight on, and you're supposed to basically screw that in underneath. So it's kind of like the Opta sensors where the train would run under it. And the other ones are the side ones that trigger it on the side. But you can see as the trains come, they hit the sensor. You can actually see the red light on there in the background, and it sends the train back the other way. And the controller let's see, we might have a little, oh, of course, as I went to it come on, focus. It's does not like focusing. Come on. Stop focusing. Manual focus. There we go. So here's the controller. It's pretty simple. You can control it manually, or you can configure it. So when you hit the configure button, you can go in here and you can go down. You can select DC or DCC. So you can go back. You can go, let's see, if I go up to locomotive config and hit select. So I can set all these different configs in here. So right now I have the DCC one set up at 55. 55 is the speed. If I select that guy, it's got a ramp as well. So you can adjust the ramp that it takes. In DC, there are more settings. If we come over to this one, let's see. So this one's DC. And when you go into configure for this one, oh, and it won't show it. I've got it set on. Come on. Boy, it does not want to focus on that at all. There we go. So when you select this, again, you can set max and ramp, but it also can do on DCC, I believe it'll do, yeah, there you go. It'll do intermediate stops as well. So you can use both, Frank, I did because I don't want people talking politics. This is the model train, so don't you know, we're not talking politics. So yeah, so you can set intermediate stops. You can use infrared sensors, which are what the sensors are that come with them. You can also use block detection devices as well. I actually got sent some block detection devices to test out, but I didn't. I don't have them hooked up. I just have them set up with the sensors. But you can do, you can set up a station stop in the center and stuff. So the Motorman is $99. For $99 to not have to do any programming except for what you can do right on the front of it with all the push buttons. I think it's absolutely worth the $100. If you like tinkering around with something like an Arduino, you could do something similar with an Arduino. You could do something similar with JMRI and a command station and everything. But $99 includes the Motorman and the power supply. And all you do is you hook it up to track power and you hook up the sensors and it just works. You don't need any other control stuff. So now that I hooked up the AR-2, are you asking me which I like better in relationship to the Motorman? Or are you asking whether I like it compared to the Miniatronics one? What I like about, what I like about the AR-2 over the Miniatronics is that the, excuse me as I knock stuff off my shelves. So I like the AR-2 better than the Miniatronics because it's got 2 relays to switch back and forth, and I like that this has a controllable delay on it. If I was doing DC only and there was no chance that I'm doing DC, I'm sorry, if I'm doing DC only and there's no chance I'm going to be doing DCC, I'd buy the AR-2 for $50 and be done. But if there's any chance that you're going to be running DCC, I'd spend the $99 on the Motorman. It just kind of works. Yes, they can. Here's the problem with the program on the BLI Locos, though. They don't know where they are, right? So you can record a program and then rerun it. But if it's 6 inches off when it starts running the program, it doesn't know that it's hit the end. So it doesn't know that it's jumped off the track, or it doesn't know that it's, driven off the edge. So the reason I like, having the sensors is that the sensors then tell me where the locomotive is. And you can use infrared sensors, you can use block detection with the Motorman. So you can set it up to know, where your train is at all times. So yeah. So Tom, I'm curious to see your video on how to do this with an Arduino. And yeah, I mean, with an Arduino, it's probably pretty simple code, right? Because you hook up 2 sensors and hook up a motor driver, and the sensors can flip the polarity of the motor driver, and it's probably pretty straightforward. What's kind of nice about this kind of simple setup, though, is like the speed is just controlled from old school variable DC, right? So if I want to adjust the speed on this, it's real simple to adjust the speed. The Motorman does not connect to LocoNet. So the Motorman is a completely separate device. Iowa Scale Engineering does sell a double pole, double throw switch that you can use. So if you want the track to be a part of your layout, you could flip it over to your controller. So yeah, but yeah, no, the Motorman is like just a completely separate, not connected to anything thing. And yeah, I've got bumpers at the end of these tracks because you guys know I've run my trains off the end of the tracks a couple times. So yes, Tom can do anything with Drano. Very true. I would actually be curious. I mean, I'd love to, like, Tom, if you'd be interested in doing a live stream together or something, I think it would be interesting to compare, the various things. Hey, Rebel and Trains, welcome. I think it's kind of, it's different levels of options, I guess. You have your DC option that is, this AR-2 is kind of as simple as it gets for something complicated. Then you've got the Motorman, which is a standalone type of thing that, for all I know, could be running Arduino code. I don't know the answer. I don't know if it is or not. And then you've got an actual Arduino, or you could probably use a Raspberry Pi as well if you wanted, more things. So Tim, if you noticed, I didn't do any soldering. I used these clips for everything. So I didn't do a lick of soldering with this. The only real tool that I used was the wire stripper to strip a couple wires. But and I guess the screwdriver. So I used the wire stripper and the screwdriver, and that was kind of it. So yes, an Arduino can handle the power output required without frying. Tom can probably give you more information about it, but the motor driver can have a secondary power source. So you can power your Arduino off your standard 5-volt, 1 amp power supply. And then you could get a 5 amp power supply hooked up to your motor driver and then use the 5 amps on the back and forth. Tom may have left, but I think he might still be here. He posted not too long ago, but he may. No, Tom's here. Yeah. So now that said, if you have, actually, if it's 5 volts 1 amp, you would need a secondary. You would need a secondary power source because you would need 12 volts to the track. Can our Arduino take a 12 volt 1 amp power supply? Because a lot of these, like the N scale DC locomotives, aren't pulling an amp. So you could theoretically do that. Yeah, there you go. I have an animated Unitram layout that runs with an Arduino and an H-bridge motor driver. Works great. And the H-bridge motor driver, if I'm not mistaken, is the same motor driver that's used for DCC++. So it's all, it's all kind of... Tom took a nap, standing up, probably. Tim, if you ever want to learn how to solder, don't go to one of my videos. Check out anybody else's videos but mine. Actually, I think Tom's got some soldering videos for beginners. Tom's got a lot of good beginner videos on his channel for all that kind of stuff. So here we go. You can use an L298N as a motor driver. 12 volts. Yes, 12 volts is for full speed. But I don't know that a 5 volt 1 amp power supply is going to a 12 volt 1 amp power supply. I don't know how well it's going to drive like an HO locomotive. It'll probably do fine on something less than that or whatever. Tom's got soldering videos, and if you don't know Tom's Trains and Things, it's free to subscribe. So you could subscribe for free to Tom's Trains and Things. The H bridge has a power regulator on it to feed the Arduino with 9 volts, but saving the rest of the 12 volts for the trains. Oh, nice. Okay, Rebel. Great. Yep. So you can do that. Oh, apparently Tom is feeding his with 18 volts. Did I put Tom to sleep? Probably. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time I put someone to sleep with one of my streams. So Lynn, was this a little bit more interesting, or did I still were you still lost through most of it? Which I don't blame you if you were. It's you know, I gotta say I'm happy. Who's Tom? Tom is from Tom's Trains and Things. Tom Kavicek. Artie, you know Tom, don't you? I hope Tom's the guy that just commented right before you. Now everyone's saying Tom who? I'm lost. Too many buttons. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so there's a Thaler system, but what Rebel in Trains was talking about is, I believe it's the Unitram system by Kato. And I have not seen the system, but somebody is setting up the Unitram system on their layout, and I don't remember who it is. I don't remember who it is, but I think it was off to a bad start, but in the end, it wasn't your fault this time. Turned out great. Thank you, Pappy. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, this could have been a 5-minute stream, and yet it kind of dragged on. But I do need to wind this down. The dog very much likely has to go out to eat. If you have more questions about this stuff, or you want to see more with the shelf layout stuff, please do send me an email or anything. I use standard Kato track, but it's a Unitram Loco. So is the controller Rebel and Trains for the Unitram system, is it in the locomotive, or is it different? Is Midsummer's doing a beginner soldering video? Is that what he's doing? Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of cleaning up to do. Oh, I need to. If I want this thing to focus, I got to put it back on autofocus. Yeah, I got a lot to clean up. This is where my work desk is too, so I'm gonna have to work in here. Oh, it's a DC. So the Unitram is a DC system. I didn't realize that. Hey Randall, there is a new channel I just found. A couple people have found it before me. It's called White River. What is it called? White River something. The guy is the guy from White River. I wonder, Rebel and Trains, are you the one whose video I saw with the Unitram? I can't now I'm thinking it could have been yours. The guy is modeling the Thayer system, Randall. So remind me, I'll try and find that guy for you again. But I thought you'd be interested in that because he is doing your thing. Yeah, Rebel and Things, I was already subscribed to you. I'm one of your 10 subs. But here's the link. Oh, White River Production used to be BNSF 617. There you go. There you go. Yeah, if people want to post up what's going on their channels, feel free to post it up. But yeah, the link that I posted at 11:49 is, or 11:49 my time, is for Rebels and Things channel. Named White River, he should be modeling the CP White River sub. Yeah, he's doing Thayer's he's doing the Thayer division. Lynn, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I hope people enjoyed this sort of like um, tech oriented stream. I know like Tom shows a lot of tech stuff, but I wanted to kind of open the boxes and go through the troubleshooting process and kind of explain what my brain was going through. Like, why did I decide to switch the polarity? How I looked at the position of the capacitors and the diodes and sort of thought that it was worth switching and taking that risk. So I appreciate people kind of coming along on the journey with me. I know it's not always quick, but it's fun. So yeah, Container Man, I know, but the chat was fun until I threw down the hammer, but the chat was fun. So the poll for the day, I have her want a shelf layout. The poll, 69 people voted, and it was 52% no, 47% yes. Kutztown Train Show next Saturday. Tom is confused. Container Man woke up. He doesn't know why. Oh, that's cool. NS 1072 is Central New Jersey. I believe it's 1072. So that's really cool. Roy's saying thank you. Yeah, Edward, I understand. The plan, Model Railroading Live usually does a 9 p.m. show. If he does the 9 p.m. show, I don't go on till 10. So I'm likely not going on until after New Tracks ends. But yeah, Lynn, I saw you wrote a 2-part essay. So Lynn originally built his shelf layout to run some longer trains because his layout didn't have tight enough curves. And then his club came over to his house and kind of fixed them up a little bit. Oh, 1072's Illinois terminal? Sorry, I was way off. Oops. Rayron just posted his club's Digitrax setup, so go check that out. I used TubeBuddy and I used vidIQ. The vidIQ that I used is the free version. TubeBuddy, I bought it was like a Christmas special, $99 for life instead of a monthly thing, so I did that. I do use it. If people are interested, I can show you kind of what I do with TubeBuddy stuff. I don't do a lot with it, but it's worth it, I think. And I'll set up screen sharing for next time I do this. I don't have screen sharing set up right now, but and I can kind of show that. Bernard, I appreciate that. Awesome. Rayron, thank you so much. I really appreciate the memberships. The monthly memberships really help. The support of my sponsors really help. So, this came from Iron Planet Hobby. He sent this to me for free so that I could, do this video. So, this I bought out of my own pocket on eBay. So the memberships help me buy this kind of stuff. And I hope it was kind of interesting to compare the two different items. Pappy, yeah, we'll have to do a whole separate video on it. It's kind of a long thing, but basically TubeBuddy and vidIQ give you additional ways to look at your analytics to help you better set up your videos. I believe Tom's Trains and Things uses some of it. Batavia Train Show is Sunday. I'm assuming this Sunday, 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So check that out. Yeah. Boy, I just totally blanked. It's Gary, right? Creepy. I forgot. Gary. Yeah. If you want, email me offline, and I can email you back, and we can get into that kind of stuff. David, if you're asking me about a layout tour right now, the only running layout I have is the automatic reversing stuff in the back. I do also have, if you look up top, way up there, there's an O scale loop and a G scale loop. Over here is a Z scale layout, and I don't have it set up yet, but this is going to be an N scale t-trak. I just got to build the bench work for it. So I don't really have a layout right now. I just have kind of various, various things that run. So Hot Rod Rodney, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Appreciate the help with the. So the AR-5 or 6 we believe is the one for DCC. The AR-2 is the DC only version. Yeah, that is overhead. That's running right in front of me now. And there it is again. So that is, you can see it's completely over my head. Oh, are you making a joke about something being over my head? So this may crash. The G scale may crash. So we'll see. Yeah, Rebel and Trains. That's what I have right now, right? I just have t-trak. I don't have stuff set up. Rick, thank you so much. Really appreciate the upgrade. Again, I couldn't do it without people's support. I mean, this office is through people's support, so this has been very helpful. So if you don't know, on Mondays, I'm working on this module. This past Monday, I built this little open shed. Before that, I had built a little outhouse, a little dog house. There's a little boat, there's a little picnic table. Next week, we're gonna work on this West End shack. So Monday night, I'm working on the t-trak modules, and then on Wednesday nights, we're doing a more tech-oriented thing. So thank you all for coming. I do need to wrap this up so I can actually get to work in the morning when I'm supposed to be at work. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Any questions, put them in the comments, email them. Yeah, just really appreciate everything. Thank you so much.